When I was 27 years old, by some stroke of luck, I had found my dream apartment, and I moved in there for 8 long years. In 2021, I left the Castle Green, which I can honestly say was the hardest decision I've ever made. I loved that place, but I had grown as far as I could there, and it was time to change. The thought of where I'd wind up next weighed heavily on my mind as I made my way up the trail. Coming back before its completion didn't exactly help remove any confusion from the situation. After 5 months of drifting from one couch to the next, I had finally had enough. I wanted a place to settle down, even if it was only an ephemeral situation. And as luck would have it, I found just such a place. The guest house in a 60-year-old barn on a couple dozen acres of horseboarding property, nestled in my childhood hometown of Chatsworth. The place was quiet and private, and despite having only a 3-month claim to the lease, it felt like fertile grounds to strengthen myself before heading back out to hike the PCT one more time. I had some initial reservations about returning to this town, the place I grew up in for my first 15 years, mostly because this place formulated the bedrock of my character. It's come to hold a deeply cherished place in my soul. And the thought that any of that could possibly be overwritten by exposing it to my most recent dilemma, that was a risk I felt apprehensive to take. That said, I chose to overlook this for one reason, and one reason alone. It was the proximity that swayed me. You see, the barn was only 1 block away from the Santa Susanas mountains. These sandstone hills, despite their small stature, they've become practically sacred to me. I grew up exploring these trails, charging out on my own every day after school, getting myself into all sorts of memorable little adventures. I came back here to walk, and walk every day, to get my body prepared for what's coming. More importantly, to fortify the strength of my mind. I was tired of carrying this baggage from one journey to the next. I searched for a way back to my love of nature, a love for its own sake, not just as a catalyst for glory and achievement. To these ends and more, this homecoming was a remarkable chance to reconnect with myself, and long overdue.